Yeah, I'm the boss.
Hey everybody, welcome back for episode number 3 of My Dope Monday. And first of all, I just want to thank you guys for watching thus far. I just got an email on, what was that, Thursday, that we had over 200 views, and that means a lot, especially just starting out these first 2 weeks. So thank you. Last week we talked about staying in your lane, which was really funny because a lot of you guys commented and emailed and texted and was like, girl, you hit it dead on the head with that one. And this week I wanted to kind of do something a little bit different. And so kind of same kind of topic, but just a little bit of a different spin to it. This week we're going to talk about your process being preparation. Okay. Quick background about myself, and this is something that I'm sharing for the first time. My mama probably gonna get me, but I mean, it is what it is. When I was in college, I graduated top, pretty good, top of my class or whatever from North Pulaski, and went to University of Alabama. And I had never did anything in high school. I felt like I was such like a sheltered kid, because once I got to Alabama, I turned up, Travis Porter style, all the way turned up. And I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't going to class. I wasn't doing my work. Like, it was crazy out there in the streets. And long story short, that week, I'm finna drop my phone. Long story short, everything that was going on in my life at the time, I had lost family members. My cousin had passed away Labor Day weekend. My mind was just like a lot of different places. And long story short, your girl went home with a .89 GPA. And my parents hit the flow and was just like, you're not going back. I was like, I gotta go back, blah, blah, blah. I go back and still wasn't doing nothing. Came back home with a .67 GPA, lower than what I came home with first semester. So as y'all can tell, I wasn't doing nothing. And I got a nice little letter from the university and it was like, look, if you want to come back to school, you're going to have to come back in the summertime. And you're going to have to get your stuff together. You got to make X amount GPA, or you just gonna be, kicked out the university. And I was like, I can't go back home to Arkansas. Folks gonna be like, oh my God, is she pregnant? Like, what's going on? She done fucked out of school. And I couldn't deal with the ridicule coming back home. So, of course, I stayed at Alabama and sacrificed my summer. And so I ended up taking 24 semester credits that summer. And when I say I didn't do anything, I didn't do nothing that whole summer. Shout out to my girl Zerica, Miss ZZBB. I was crashing with my homegirl the whole summer, and she really pushed me and helped me to get myself together going into sophomore year. Needless to say, I ended up being able to return. A lot of my friends didn't, that was in the same situation. But I ended up going back in my whole sophomore year. I was living with my cousin Faith and my friend Z, and they will tell you that whole semester, that whole year, I didn't do nothing but work. I got up, I had classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8 o'clock until 6 o'clock p.m. And Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I was hightailing it to Birmingham, all the way to CBS 42, which was like probably like a solid hour and 10 minutes commute from Tuscaloosa to Birmingham, getting to the news station Monday, Wednesday, Friday. When I get off there, I come home, take a nap for like 2 hours, take a bath, put on my pajamas or my clothes for the next day, and go to the library, and would be in Rogers all night until the next day. Needless to say, I was putting in work because I knew that I had so much time that I had wasted that I had to make up for. My sophomore year was amazing, and from that, my GPA kept climbing. Opportunities started opening because of the work that I was putting in then. Of course, I got discouraged a lot of the time because I felt like there was so many things going on around me. Like, I had homegirls that was pledging. I had friends that was kicking their spring break when I had to be at home because, I had stuff that I had to do because when I got back, it was grind time. So there was a lot of things going on around me that it was hard for me to kind of just like zone in and be like, look, you did this, so you suffering the consequences, and you have to do this to make up for lost time. But all in all, I ended up graduating and making it out. So that was my process. And so going back to staying in your lane, a lot of the time stuff will be going on around you, and people be doing stuff around you, and it feels like they're moving quicker or at a faster pace. But you have to be content in your process and understand that you're not gonna enjoy your process. When you get in the perm, the edges be burning, honey. But when you get done, heavy on fleek, So it's one of those things you have to You have to be content with your process and know that your process is your preparation. And the thing about it is, a lot of the time we get discouraged because it's almost like, when am I going to pop off? When is some stuff going to move for me? When I moved back home, I felt like I was just at a standstill. Like, there's nothing going on here. I'm in Arkansas. Oh my God. All my friends are going all these places and doing all this cool stuff, and I'm still here. I don't have a job in my major. I'm slinging clothes at the mall, you know. And I thank God for my friends, because we were all in similar situations where we all, and even still now, we doing jobs that we don't, you know, necessarily want to do, but you got to do what you got to do to get to where you're going. That was good. I just spoke life to myself. I had to take that in. Anyways, you got to do stuff that you don't want to do to get to where you're trying to go. And at the end of the day, it don't matter what anybody else got to say about your process, because it's yours. And you got backing. Like, if it hadn't been for my faith, like being bigger than what you have to live a life of expectancy. I'll say that. God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above what you can ask or think in your finite mind. And it's almost like, how could you live life and not expect him to do big things when you live outside and think outside the box and push yourself to go above and beyond what you would normally do in this place of complacency, like wherever you are in your process? There's no way that God can't bless you bigger and better than what you would expect. If you set a goal and you say, hey, I'm going to do this, and God said, I got a different plan. I'm going to give you this plus more. It's almost like your faith has to be bigger than what you already think it is. So it's almost like you're thinking at a more down the line type kind of mindset. So anyway, long story short, live a life of expectancy. Stuff that you go through, stuff that you may experience, like, it's not going to be easy all the time, but you just got to keep it moving and know that your process is preparation. And at the end of the day, if you claim victory, you expect victory. You get it with a greater sense of power, a greater sense of peace. And at the end of the day, God wants you to live in abundance. There's no way that God wants you to be stuck where you are. And I've had this situation, and that's why I'm speaking so much like to myself right now. This is like real crazy. But the thing about it is, this week was so hard for me that I had to remind myself that my process is my process. And it doesn't matter what anybody else says or thinks. What you're going through is a bigger and better platform for you to help somebody else. And even in the midst of me speaking to you, I'm really speaking to myself. Live a life of expectancy and know that whatever you're going through right now is bigger and better coming. No days off. So that's all I got. Live a life of expectancy and know that your process is your preparation. Love you guys. Happy Dope Monday.
Yeah, I'm the boss.